first rebuild of Madden 20, we're going to take on the task of rebuilding the Green Bay Packers, coming off of one of the worst seasons in recent history at 6-9-1, and with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, hopefully with a few trades being made and maybe signing a few free agents, we can bring this team from 6-9-1 to Super Bowl champions. Hopefully you guys are excited for the first rebuild of Madden 20. If you do enjoy the rebuilds, let me know by smashing that like button. Let me know what team you want me to rebuild next in the comment section below. Subscribe if you are new, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. With that said, disclaimer, my rebuilds are not really realistic. We do a lot of trading, although I haven't even jumped into regular franchise yet, so I have no idea how the trade logic is this year, so it might be more difficult than what I'm used to. But with that said, I am recording this live on twitch.tv/RBTofficial, so my Twitch chat's probably going to help me decide what players to trade for. But looking at the team, as there's a whole new lineup menu, looking at the team, our offensive line's trash, aside from David Bakhtiari, so the interior, the guards we're going to have to definitely upgrade. Jimmy Graham's okay at tight end, maybe upgrade Aaron Jones if we can, try to get somebody else alongside Devontae Adams, and our offense should be okay. And defensively is where we need to upgrade at. Linebackers, they're alright. Maybe get another middle linebacker. Definitely upgrade at free safety. I mean, this team isn't bad. I think really with just a couple trades and maybe signing some of the available free agents, we could have a chance to bring this team to a Super Bowl. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make this easier on me since this is my first rebuild of the year. I'm just going to sign 2 available free agents because they're just there. Give this Packers defense a leader in Eric Berry, sign him to a contract, and also give Aaron Rodgers a target in Dez Bryant. I think just like that, the team is playoff caliber, but we don't have much cap room left, so we have to work some magic. But just like that, dude, we just had 2 huge upgrades. Is this enough to bring in Calvin Ridley? It is. Wow. So we trade away our left guard, 71 overall, and actually gain about $2 million in cap room as we bring in a young 79 overall Calvin Ridley to add to this pretty talented wide receiver core now. Devontae Adams, Dez Bryant, Calvin Ridley. That's a pretty good trio for Aaron Rodgers to throw to this season. So looking to replace the guard we just traded away for Calvin Ridley, Fackrell, our backup right outside linebacker for Mr. Veteran Go-To Marshall Yanda, 91 overall, and it was declined, but I think there is potential. Adding a 4th round draft pick for Mr. Yanda, trade still declined. Let's throw in a 5th as well. Let's welcome Marshall Yanda to the offensive line to pass protect for Aaron Rodgers. Throwing a draft pick for Zach Martin. Jimmy Graham, a 3rd round draft pick for 96 overall Zach Martin. It was accepted, dude. What is going on? So, some players in Madden 20, as I can tell already through this little process, some of the players are ridiculously way too hard to get. But then you have stuff like this and stuff like the Calvin Ridley trade. But that is Madden connected franchise for you. God dang it, dude. I knew that was going to happen. So we replaced Jimmy Graham with Delaney Walker, who's a high overall by 10 overall, and he's worth like half as much towards our cap as Jimmy Graham. So we do get a talented tight end, although I'm upset because I didn't know this was going to go through straight up. But still, it's a decent trade. I don't think that's a bad trade at all. I mean, it's not a bad trade because 74 for 92. What am I complaining about? So our first trade to bring in a 1st round draft pick, we make this trade with the Seattle Seahawks. Valdez Scantling, our 4th wide receiver, a 73 overall. They were the only team that had green interest in him, so I knew that was our best bet to get the most value. Also had to throw in a 2nd round draft pick from next year. And we threw in Tramon Williams because nobody wanted him, and he was worth $4 million, so we free up some cap space. And at the same time, do bring in a 1st round draft pick and a 7th round draft pick from this year. Bro, this game is so awesome. We trade away Spriggs, a 61 overall right tackle who I was simply just trying to dump on because he's worth $2 million a year. But for some reason, the Chargers wanted him. A 67 wide receiver and a 67 cornerback for Marquise Pouncey, who I'm not going to keep but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to trade him away for something half decent. So I think that right there is a pretty successful trade. So here's another funny trade. We get a 3rd round draft pick from the Miami Dolphins for 63 overall Billy Turner, who also relieves $2 million off our cap, and a 4th round draft pick and a 5th round draft pick from next year to bring in a 3rd round draft pick for 2020. So another just interesting trade. We got Mike Pouncey for literally like a 61 overall player there. We use him and a 3rd round draft pick from next year to bring in our new starting running back, 88 overall, Joe Mixon. I mean, he is expensive, but what the heck, dude? Like, how am I supposed to know that's going to happen? Well, we get our new highest overall cornerback, Aqib Talib. We probably could have got for a pencil. We do trade away Aaron Jones, who's now our backup running back. No longer a backup running back, because now he's a running back, a backup now with the Rams. But at least we do get Aqib Talib, although I'm upset. At least I know now to never trade away somebody good for Aqib Talib. Can get him for literally a pencil. An unsharpened pencil at that. Quantimus St. Brown to seal the deal here, as D Ford is now the newest member of the Green Bay Packers. We did have to ship on Darnell Savage Jr., a 3rd round draft pick, and a 66 wide receiver with a really long name that I don't want to pronounce again. But we do bring in D Ford, an 84 overall, who is 10 overall higher than anybody else we have at the left end position. Well, let's welcome Ndamukong Suh to the squad. We are going to convert him to defensive tackle, but we bring him in from his new team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he's been traded twice this offseason. We trade away Dean Lowry, who is now our backup. We have Rashawn Gary behind him, so he can now be the backup. And a 2nd round draft pick, bringing Ndamukong Suh, a 5th and a 6th from this year. I mean, we could take Mario Davis and convert him to middle linebacker if we needed to. And it looks like we are gonna. I didn't expect that to happen. So you heard my thought process. We're getting to the point where we just have a few more positions that we do need to upgrade, and we don't really have that much we can trade away aside from draft picks. So we'll take Mario Davis at this point. Oh, come on, man. So just for the heck of it, just for the memes, it's not a meme, but you get what I'm saying at this point. What is going on? We're about to get Saquon Barkley. We just traded for Saquon Barkley. Our 3rd string D tackle, Lancaster, Josh Jackson, our 4th corner, and a 1st round draft pick from next year for Saquon Barkley, arguably the best running back in the league. What's happening? So I know this trade might look a little sketchy because Kareem Jackson's a little bit older, but 87 overall, he comes in. Wow, didn't we get both Aqib Talib? No, we didn't get Aqib Talib from the Broncos because he's not a Bronco anymore. That was like 10 years ago. But we do get Kareem Jackson to be the co-highest overall cornerback now on the team at an 87 overall. We did trade a 1st round draft pick away, our 3rd string running back Jamal Adams, and our 3rd string 65 overall middle linebacker to bring in another solid cornerback for this secondary. I'm trying to get an old center. We have $8 million left. Can we get Alex Mack? What's his overall? Well, I guess we can get Alex Mack. So I think that's going to do it. This final trade for this rebuild. We get Alex Mack for a 1st round draft pick. And look at this team, dude. We did this in just about, it's been maybe about an hour of rebuilding up to an 89 overall, 97 offense, 89 defense. As we look at this squadron, offensive line has to be one of the best in football. We traded a veteran tight end than Jimmy Graham for another veteran and high overall in Delaney Walker. Aaron Rodgers is still here. We somehow got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. A good wide receiver trio for Aaron Rodgers to throw to in Devontae Adams, Dez Bryant, and Calvin Ridley. Some veterans and some youngins there. And on defense is pretty much completely reloaded. Linebacker core is about the same, although we did add Mario Davis at middle linebacker at 84 overall. We signed Eric Berry out of free agency, converted him to free safety. We had Aqib Talib and Kareem Jackson at the cornerback position, and also added D Ford and Ndamukong Suh on the defensive line. And with that said, dudes, I want you to let me know in the comment section below how many wins you think this team is going to get, as it's either Super Bowl or bust. I'm going to say 13-3. If we don't get at least 12 wins, I'm going to be disappointed. So I think we got a 1st round bye, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't say that practice squad players were signed, so we did lose the last week of the season, so we didn't go undefeated. We're up to a 90 overall, 97 offense, 91 defense, and this is another reason why this new little adjust lineup team tab is annoying now, because you can't see how everybody looks all at once. You have to jump into this lineup, and you have to wait for it to load instead of how it simply was last year. Aaron Rodgers from a 90 to a 92, Saquon Barkley up to a 94, even Joe Mixon upgraded to an 89, Devontae Adams up to a 94, Dez Bryant up to an 84, Calvin Ridley from a 79 to an 81, David Bakhtiari to a 98, Zach Martin 97, Alex Mack up to a 91, Brian Bulaga up to an 85, even Delaney Walker at 35 years old is even up to a 94. On defense, we have Preston Smith go up by 2, Blake Martinez up by 2, Demario Davis up by 2, and I think Zadarius Smith went up by, 3 or 4? Adrian Amos up by 1. Amos, I don't know why I said almost. Eric Berry up by 1. Aqib Talib up by 1. Kareem Jackson stayed the same. Jair Alexander, I think he went up by a couple. He had Kenny Clark go by a few. Ndamukong Suh, I think, stayed the same. D4 stayed the same. Rashawn Gary up a few. As this team, if we did not win at least 12 games with a 90 overall, I don't know how 97 offense and 91 defense averages out to be a 90. We end up 12-4. I'm content. We did get a first round bye. As we check out the rest of these standings, the Patriots had the best record in the NFL at 14-2. I don't know how we're ahead of the Browns, second in the NFL, although they had more wins than us. The Browns went 13-3. Worst record in the NFL this season goes to the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-13. The Dolphins, with their awful roster, the lowest overall team in the league, they still go 7-9. If we go into statistics, we had the third best offense in the league, and we had the 12th best defense. The defense let us down just a little bit. The MVP, of course, goes to Tom Brady. Deshaun Watson in second, Baker in fourth, Mahomes in sixth, Jimmy G in ninth. We had nobody in the top 10, which is sort of disappointing. Griffin Murphy won Coach of the Year. As I do want to see the Rookies of the Year. Of course, Hollywood Brown wins it in the AFC. Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC goes to Levi Wallace. I've done 2 simulations this year, and that's the second time both those guys won those awards. In the NFC, Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Dexter Lawrence II, and Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kyler Murray, and DK Metcalf came in second. Look at these stats, though. Aaron Rodgers, 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Saquon Barkley, 13 rushing touchdowns. Joe Mixon added with 8 receiving yard-wise. Devontae Adams led us. Delaney Walker led us with 10 touchdowns, and he had 1,000 receiving yards as a 35-year-old. And defensively, Blake Martinez led us with 112 tackles in sacks. Demario Davis and Kenny Clark both with 10, as we only had 4 interceptions all year. That's weird. But guys, now it's time to see if this team can complete the ultimate task and see if we can go 1-0 in Madden 20 Rebuilds and bring this team from 6-9-1 to Super Bowl champion. So advancing into the divisional round, taking on the 9-7 49ers. We can't be 1-0 with a 90 overall team. We beat them 35-14. In the NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field, home field advantage against the 10-6 Cowboys, 1 game away from the Super Bowl. As we advance, please don't make me lose to the Cowboys. We get a narrow win, 17-14. Come on, man. I'm not up at 2:27 a.m. on 2 hours of sleep to do a rebuild, only to lose in the Super Bowl against none other than the Cleveland Browns. As come on now, dude, we will upgrade players. We'll do that next week, so we're as good as possible before we do play the Browns. Oh man, if we lose to the Browns, if we allow them to win their first ever Super Bowl, when we are a completely stacked team, we're gonna upgrade Kenny Clark. So as we go into the Super Bowl, this team is a 90 overall. Come on now. Don't do it to me. Madden gods, please let me end this off with a win. Don't be anticlimactic. We get the win in our first Madden 20 rebuild. We win the Super Bowl 41-35 over the Cleveland Browns. Guys, I think the rebuild king is back. Guys, I think that deserves a like. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on the notification bell if you haven't. Let me know what team you want me to rebuild next, because I'm pretty sure at this point I can bring your favorite team from worst to first just like that. Actually, it took me like an hour and a half, but we'll get it done. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'll catch you next time. Have a great rest of your day. God bless and peace.